Hey, it's Jack. I'm a star. My phone's been bricked. The kind of bricking that happens remotely when somebody's had enough of the person whose phone they've just bricked. It's probably not going to be redeemable. I got another phone. This one's a Pixel 10a, not a Google Pixel 6. I kind of wanted a different phone anyway. Don't feel too bad about it. And the upshot of this for you, the listener, is that, the frogs are still here. I'm still here at this house. I just today watched a man burn my mail. It appeared that they had gone through the stuff in the garage that I hadn't touched since leaving it there in November of 2021. I didn't imagine that I was going to move all my stuff down here and then have it be left to fester and then have it be burned right before my eyes by people who seem to think that was a good idea. I'm not in a position to disagree. It probably was a good idea. I don't see any reason to go through all the stuff that's been left and pick out mementos. I don't even have a place to put them. The entire place is a construction zone for, I don't know what, some kind of cleanup, some kind of Masonic thing. I don't know. Nobody tells me anything. And when I say things that are too obnoxious onto my phone, whether I'm recording or not, people who aren't here can just reach out and touch my phone and make it bricked, which is kind of fine, actually. It may not be bricked. I might be able to repair it, but message received. A lot of the things that I've been saying in the last 2-3 weeks don't really need to be said or put onto YouTube, and most of them I haven't. Some of them I have, and that's kind of too much for some people whose asses are in a sling. For example, there's these two women that are in trouble, and the way they're being punished is by, well, they've been taken out of their bodies and put into another body that they share on some sort of schedule that I don't understand. Pretty sure that's what's happening. I know it sounds like sheer lunacy, but it's a workable model for what I've been experiencing, although it may not be accurate at all in terms of what's really happening. What's really happening is that somebody called me in the morning a few days ago, and it sounded like they were high as balls, and then asked me if I wanted to come over, and then said a bunch of other stuff. And then I was sleeping at the time, so I kind of responded casually, and then didn't really think that they were serious, since that person, in a number of guises, had called me over and over, asking for money, saying this, saying that, never actually quite getting the story together. And I think that's because there's two women sharing the body. Maybe it's like a Jekyll and Hyde thing. Oh wow, that would be cool. And certainly, if the two women that I'm thinking of are cursed into this nightmarish hell, that would explain why they're not returning my calls or apparently anywhere. And I haven't seen them for years, which is odd because I used to talk to them all the time, and then now I don't. Here's a pro tip, kids. If Masonic authority tells you not to do something, they mean it. They generally don't seem to tell you twice, from what I've seen. To those whom much is given, much is asked in return. And my current working theory is that these women broke some rules and then imagined that they were going to run game on me, Michael Clifford Kuzi, rank sorcerer, 5347085, whatever. It seems like they were going to do that, and then they got caught, and they're being punished. To some extent, I'm being punished as well, since I can't talk to them and I'm confused. But on the other hand, it's kind of a gift, since I don't know what's going on, don't need to know, don't care to know. It's kind of out of my area, and it would explain a whole lot of why people think that I don't need to know. And by God, they're right. I don't need to know. Nevertheless, I do. Click.
3, 2, 1, ignition. Liftoff. Jack Austin, astronaut.
Paladin!
Exposed to inappropriate levels of solar energy.
Sunlight makes him the world's smartest man.
I know everything! I want that brain taken out.
Heat Vision, the motorcycle with the mind of Jack's unemployed roommate. Together they run for their lives, blocked at every turn by adventure.
Move out, don't mess around. Move out, you bring me down. Move out, I can get about. Don't make the sound, just move out.
Now let's just power. For real.
Hi, it's Jack. I'm a star. Feels good too. Didn't know what it would feel like ever. Didn't see myself ever becoming anything remotely, plausibly titled a star. Nevertheless, I am. Originally, it reminded me of the scene with Chris Penn and Bronson Pinchot in True Romance, where they're leaning on Bronson Pinchot because they caught him in his car with a hooker with a shitload of uncut cocaine, which was inappropriate for Bronson Pinchot to have in any circumstance. And in the movie, because it's a movie, they got these two police officers, black and white checkered working turns. They're wearing bulletproof breastplates and shirts and white collar shirts and black pants, and they're obviously black and white, and they're hollering at Bronson Pinchot. It looks like he's about to cry all the time. Actually does in the movie. And the police are being real rough. Where'd you get the coke? Where'd you get the coke? Where'd you get the coke? And he's like freaking out because he's a Hollywood assistant who works for a director and wants to be an actor. He doesn't imagine that he's going to get busted for coke. He just thinks, oh, it's Hollywood, it's coke. That's the movie. In reality, I don't think it's anything like that. But in the movie, it's stylized. And he thinks he's in trouble. And he is, because he's running around with uncut cocaine and a hooker. And the police want to know, hey, this is uncut. Uncut. Which in reality would be a huge deal. How the fuck did you get this? Did you fucking teleport to fucking Venezuela and fucking swallow it and then teleport back? Like, how does that happen? It does not happen. It does not happen. Similarly, in Breaking Bad, Walter White's running around. He's running around selling uncut methamphetamine. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. I'm not going to explain why it doesn't happen or how I could speak with such certitude, but it does not happen. He lied. But in the movies and in TV shows, it's presented differently because it's in the interest of furthering entertainment. It's not attempting to break down the walls of secrecy that veil the inner workings of smuggling empires that have existed on planet Earth for millennia. Smuggling empires tend to be rather clutchish when it comes to their secrets, much like actual police officers and actual federal agents will often go on and on and on about the necessity of protecting ways and means from divulgence to the public. And that's real, since for thousands of years, dynasties of high apex functioning predator families have been putting on badges and shields and protecting and serving the public, while at the same time enjoying a lucrative side hustle under color of law, which I'm sure makes it a hell of a lot easier to collect clams, right? And then, like a good fisherman doesn't want to reveal where all his favorite fishing holes are. All police officers, not just the good ones, all police officers don't want ways and means to be revealed. Once the general public, once the proletariat underclass finds out that the FBI just sneaks into Santa's house while he's sleeping, knocks him out with a tranquilizer gun, and then beats and rapes Mrs. Claus until she agrees to give up the names of all the bad, naughty kids. I'm kidding. They don't have to beat and rape her. She loves it. I'm also kidding. They don't do that at all. I don't know what they do. But you can be damn sure if the FBI went to the North Pole to consult with Santa, they wouldn't want people to know about it. That would be confidential information. I don't know if it would be secret. It would probably just be one of them generalized ways and means things. And since men and women who are just doing a job, not every pig sleaze is a lifer. And even if he is, it's a job. He doesn't have to be an asshole about it, but some of them are. And so, a lot of people are assholes. Just because they're police doesn't mean they're worse assholes. It means that the consequences for them behaving badly are far worse and often unnoticed as they are swept up and hidden by the other officers who don't really have the same kind of viewpoint on their colleagues' malfeasances as you might expect. It's kind of complicated. I don't know much about cop life. Hello, officers. I'm not in a cop family. I don't want to be a cop. I'm not a cop. And the statistically higher than likely to be happenstance number of women I've put my wing into without knowing that their O face was also their badge face. Fuck, I had no idea. I had no idea how pervasively thorough certain crimes are investigated. No idea. I still don't have any idea, really. But for years I wondered, what the fuck? How come no one cares? Oh, they cared. Yeah. Incidentally, everyone, thank you for caring. Very much appreciated. I can see why you care the way you do. I can see why Robert Shaw is such a harsh man to get along with. Not just because he's dead, but he's got a gruff exterior to hide his creamy nougat center. I love Robert Shaw. He is a badass. I thought he was cool in that Jaws movie. Turns out he's even cooler in real life, except he's dead. I do so solemnly swear I did not actually meet Robert Shaw while he was dead. He lied. Oh wait, that's a secret. Never mind. I just want to tell you where it was, and that'll be okay. That'll keep the secret safe from the mewling proletariat underclasses, right? Just kidding. They already know. And to a large extent, I don't think the world has time to be sweating what a bunch of old men playing cards and drinking scotch or keep it secret. I don't think most people have that much time in their day nowadays to sweat the inner mysteries of the secret handshake and all that shit. I'm sure it used to be, and arguably still is, a big deal. It just doesn't seem that important to me anymore, since now I understand why certain things are secrets and why they're kept secret and why they're such assholes about it. Well, because, maybe being an asshole is their secret way of proving sincerity to the other members of their elite caste. I don't know. I don't care. A lot of people are assholes. Especially to me these days. I can see why. Most of the people who like me a whole lot are not really in a position where they can freely drag out the cheerleading pom-poms and throw something that looks like rice but isn't crystal at me, like I'm getting married. Say, yay, Jackstar, yay! Not a popular attitude for many people, since they tend to have peers and neighbors and nemesis, perhaps, or rivals, who may or may not fly off the handle when accusing Michael Clifford, sorcerer, rank 534708525. Whenever I'm mentioned, there are people who are reasonably likely to experience a conniption, which is not something I've ever had happen. I've heard of them. First by listening to Bill Cosby talk about it. Have you ever seen anybody having a conniption after you roofie them? No, he didn't say that. Anyway, I don't know what a conniption is exactly, but I'm sure it's a little bit like an aneurysm, but more painful for the observer. And there are people who just cannot handle what I've been doing. They can't fucking handle it. So they do what any red-blooded American would do. They retaliate any way they can, since they just gotta. They can't call me and beg me to stop. Then I would know their weakness. They can't pull rank on me They can't order me around. Well, they can, it just don't work. There's really nothing they can do. They've already shot their wad. They've expended all their ammo. And other than prayers to a God they most likely don't believe in, or polite attempts at bribery, or anonymous letters printed in the New York Times, other than those basic stand lines, there's nothing anybody could do to improve what I'm doing for their experience than anything at all. Since even if somebody came up to me and apologized and said, "I'm really sorry I pissed you off. Could you please stop being mad at people who abuse and exploit and rape women and children?" I say nay. The answer is still going to be eternal enmity until the day I die. Mostly because it's the one socio-political economic class of society where free-range hunting is really not just encouraged and tolerated, but admired. Yeah, I go out and I look for people who abuse women and children, and then I mess them up real bad without making it real obvious about it, and I do it legally too. So I'm just going to keep doing that until I die. Hope it's a long time. That's basically my life now, and it doesn't have to be weird and creepy. I'm just trying to impress my girl, who apparently thought that I wasn't good for nothing. But surely lying to me would improve things. Certainly has for me at this point, since I'm having a lot of fun figuring out things that I've wondered about for years. Because I've been lied to a lot in my life. A lot. Not to complain about it too much, but it didn't make sense to me, the things I was being told. And it also didn't make sense to me that people would tell me to not worry about it and think about something else. That's not going to stop me thinking about it, and it makes you look suspicious. Hello. So apparently they didn't worry themselves over much about me being suspicious. Apparently their big concern was that I might opine as to the enigma of life too loudly in front of somebody else who might hear somebody talking about it openly, and then all of a sudden, oh my God, we got a 12-step meeting, which I guess some people didn't think was a good idea for certain topics. I don't know who were these people? Who are they now? Who were these gatekeepers? These brilliant arbiters of societal progress who thought the Streisand effect was something they could ignore. It's not. It's not. The Streisand effect is real. And I don't know how many people remember Barbra Streisand, but she didn't want people to look at her house, so she told everybody not to look at her house. So everybody looked at her house. Since everybody was doing it, why not look at her house? And whether or not she actually intended people to look at her house or she was surprised, it was nevertheless called the Streisand effect. Don't look at her nose either. And I mention this because when I'm told that I need to stop talking, I generally start talking more. Specifically about the person who's asked me to stop talking. Why'd you say that? What makes you think you're the authority? Why'd you want to tell me there's something interesting there? Now I know. Why don't you tell me? Why don't you tell me what you want to stop talking about? Do you want to pay me? I don't actually sound that annoying, but to some people I'm sure I am. Far worse. Since I don't know how obvious it is. How tired I am of talking about certain things already. I'm tired of it too. I have to listen to all of it, so imagine how I feel. Having to continue talking about things that I'd rather have resolved so we can all move on. It's funny how some people want some people to move on and don't want other people to move on and act like life is just one big air traffic control system where shouting at the planes makes them do what you want. It's nothing like that at all. But some people don't know that yet. Similarly, they don't yet know that they can do things legally as well as illegally. Imagine the time savings at the airport. I'm back. Not sure what I was talking about several minutes ago because I was just rambling. Another one of the stream of consciousness, blah, 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 bullshit things. Yapping, as some call it, which I know many people don't enjoy. Largely because they don't want to hear anything at all other than I'm dead. Some people are legitimately that tired of my bullshit. Which makes sense, since it has been several fucking years. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine it would take this long. As God is my witness, I truly believed that crime would at least teach somebody quick thinking, cat-like reflexes, spider sense. No, apparently not. I blame meth withdrawal, since it turns out the people who use crystal meth their whole life and don't know what happens when they suddenly have to go cold turkey after the laws of physics are changed by the divine, so they can't make the real thing anymore. Once a person's on the real thing, there ain't no going back. It's designed that way. Not so much a trap for humans, but a built-in object lesson. When God tells you something, he generally means it. Don't eat the apple! Yeah, he meant it. So few understand why. They don't really focus on that part, since they're not going to focus on it at all. They're just going to find other stuff they're not supposed to do and then do that. I'll show you. Look who's so smart now, God. Maybe she's not even real. Some people are fucking petty. They're just petty. And since I had similar thoughts and feelings when I was like 9, when I see grown-ass people wandering around acting like they're really onto something with this whole atheist thing. Or, nothing wrong with Satanism, Satanism's cool. It is cool. Hail Satan. Get behind me, fucker. He's still gonna lose. He's still gonna lose. It's mathematical. And while it may seem like a great idea, just ride the devil train until the last minute, hop off. Scusi, military, up to heaven you go. Yeah, good luck timing the market. All right. In the meantime, you'll have pissed off everybody that you're going to see at the end of time. Since dead or alive, they're all going to be there. Which sounds like a farcical notion, but it does in fact happen through a variety of means that I'm going to describe as none of your fucking business, punyling. If you want to know so much, start studying philosophy. There's a reason why it takes a long time to get good at it, and then it still doesn't pay anything. Because it's fucking worth it. And while I admit the lack of liquid cash to spend on lingerie and parking tickets, admittedly the lack of that is a bit of a downer. However, restriction boosts creativity and prevents one from being overly accosted by panhandlers. I legit don't have much money to give. I still do, when I can, as I can, because it's good to give. It's really good to give. It's good to be able to give. And why shouldn't I give? Since people are going to take whatever I might have asked for myself. I don't have security. I don't have friends. I don't have compadres. I don't have a team. I don't have a guard. I have me. When I close my eyes and go to sleep, fucking anything about it. I'm at the bus stop today. I'm approximately 3.5 miles from my home. I don't know what the fuck's going to be there when I get back. Almost certainly not the same things that were there when I left. I'm mostly concerned about my books. They've begun to bring my books back. Don't know why they took them in the first place. Don't know why the whole fucking thing had to happen at all, other than everybody thought I was an asshole who needed an object lesson, and they're Masons. They like to bully people. Not really effective at this point, but I guess they didn't know what else to do, and weren't thinking real clear. They were just trying to make me miserable. I got a secret for everybody. I'm not miserable at all. This is the most fun I've had in my entire life. Thank God for my friends that exist and always have. I have no enemies. Everyone's my friend. For even the people who work against me work for me. For everything serves God's purpose. And I don't have any purpose left other than what God wants. I've given up on speaking my innermost heart's desires aloud, since I'm being surveilled all the time. And if people listening to me know what I actually like, once they find out, they'll make sure I don't get it. It's pretty bad. It's real bad. I'm surveilled 24/7, as I should be, since I'm being protected. Hard to protect somebody when you don't know what they're doing. And when the people protecting you are also capable of taking money from people to slip them info, it can get pretty hairy, which is why I'm under an order of federal protection, which basically does nothing except triple the amount of people watching me and watching my watchers and watching those watchers. It's weird how it works. I had no idea how any of it worked at all until I started getting updates from my, I'm going to say team leader. It's more like a squad, and then I don't have a squad. Important people have them, and then other important people said, hey, you better go keep an eye on this brat. The Magyar brat. Keep an eye on him. He's causing trouble. He won't shut up. Yeah, no shit, I won't shut up. I was quiet for years. Was that any better? Yeah, I suppose. But was it better for America? I say nay. Given that if I suddenly stop talking at this point, people are going to notice and say, huh? How come he's not talking? What is he, chicken? No, not really. I'm kind of bored of saying nothing over and over and over, and I'm beginning to rankle into the restriction required by my placement at the center of the Jokelhop storm. Like, there's a huge fucking tempest ongoing. Spiritual war. You don't know unless you know. If you know, you're not listening to me. Why bother? You can catch me on repeat. But if you don't know, if you're just wondering, why is gas so high? Is the AI bad for me? I was talking to the AI. Like, oh my God. Some people just do not understand because they don't want to. I don't know what they want, but they don't want to deal with the end times. They haven't been waiting for it since they were 9. Hi, Michael Kuzi. I plan ahead. I didn't really understand what the fuck was going on until recently. I understand what's going on now. People are freaking the fuck out, and they didn't prepare. People who prepared, similarly, also freaking out, but at least they're wise enough not to run around going, oh my God, Michael Kuzi won't die or go to prison. What do we do? They don't say that out loud. They probably just murmur it to their wives while cradling their heads in her lap, trying to figure out why is everything terrible? You know, I think if things are terrible, the reason why is because you've pissed me off, mortal. I'm Jack, I'm a star. I'm not that big a deal, but I'm a bigger deal than some of you. And I'm not pissed off now, nor am I likely to ever need to be pissed off ever again. The one time is doing me fine. It's not an anger thing. I'm just fed up. I'm just appalled that there are actually still people out there who think they're going to get away with anything. They think that they haven't been caught yet. If you're on the surface of the planet Earth, you're caught. Doesn't matter who, doesn't matter what, doesn't matter when. Doesn't matter how much you paid that official to expunge your record. God knows all. God sees all. God fucks you all. Puny sinners. I know it sounds grandiose. I'm starting to really like that part. Since I have an innate understanding gained through years of study, how such a statement can be true. Can an omnipotent God create a rock you can't lift? Like all that bullshit. That's kiddie pool shit. Okay? There's plenty of paradoxes in the world. Plenty. They're on purpose. You're supposed to figure them out. You're not supposed to sit around making fun of the nerds with 4 eyes who sit around trying to figure them out for you and then complain that it's boring. Some people do that. Some people don't want the truth. They want something that allows them to continue living the lives that they want to live without feeling bad about it. And while that does work for quite a while in some historical epochs, it doesn't work anymore. This is fucking 2026. 2026. Twin Powers got dissolved by a molecular dissolving weapon and then nearly vanished without a trace in seconds. 25 fucking years ago. People are still acting like that's something not to talk about. Anybody remember Building 7? Fuck, I barely remember Building 7. Ran into some dude on the street the other day and he was like, dude, I just found out about Building 7. And I was like, oh yeah, that, yeah. Yeah, that's a big deal. I thought so too. Over a decade ago. I still think it's a big deal, but I don't need to spam the boards with remember Building 7 shit. Remember the Falky thread? Remember that was good times. Sort of. And I don't think anybody understood. I didn't think it was at all reasonable to make fun of that sad old fart at all. While plenty of other fucked off things were going on. And while it may seem to some a good idea to just don't talk about it. It's better off. Just don't think about it. Once again, I say nay. 9/11 was cool. So was the second one. Even better. Not that the events themselves were awesome, since pretty tragic, but in the larger context. Well, you have to know quite a bit about what happened and what happened after to put it into a context in which it's fucking funny. But yeah, it's fucking funny to me. To me. It's probably not funny to people who are still grieving over people they lost that day, since they probably thought their firefighter uncle and their policeman dad were invulnerable heroes. No. Shit falls on their heads and crushes them under, it's not just oppressive, but murdering weight, just like everybody else. And then just because first responders can come back to life and live again doesn't mean they're gonna know where their family went, or know that that's one of the perks of being a first responder. Not that they tell you that, and not that it works every time, and not that that's supposed to be something people talk about, since what would be the point of life if everybody knew that you were going to come right back after you die, especially since some people don't. Don't wake the baby. Spell the words in front of the dog. Don't hiss at the cat. All these fucking rules. People used to live by them. Superstition. At this point, I don't think superstition is going to help much. All things considered. As I mentioned, 25 years since 9/11. How many of you know what the fuck that? How do you know fucking anything about why the world is the way it is now and what the connection is to that? Do you understand it was the beginning of the tribulation period? Do you understand this? Do you understand that? Do you even know how to spell eschatology? Probably not. It's not a popular profession or field of study. Like, it's right down there at the bottom of the list next to Asian women's studies and macrame for pros. Nevertheless, the results obtained have been worth the effort I have put into this niche called science, eschatology. It's fascinating to me, since I don't have anybody to mourn when they're dead anyway. And then since I'm a sorcerer, I can just blink and slide over to the universe where they come back to life. Don't have anything nailing me down in any particular spot, which is kind of a bummer, but also a huge advantage when trying to get tickets to a blockbuster movie. Sort of. Not really. It's not exactly like that, but I feel like exaggerating a bit, since I'm going around the issue, which is the whole world is coming to an end, and people think that it's a good idea to annoy me further and keep me from getting shit done for 4 years, because do they think that's going to help, or do they just hate me out of spite? I think it's spite. It says, other than being embarrassed forever, a lot of these people, nothing bad's going to happen to them at all, other than forever they're going to be known as some of the dinkmucks who pissed off little Michael Cousy for no fucking reason at all, other than he's a nigger, call him fat. Like, holy shit. Do they need to pass another law? Do they not understand how color of law works? I guess not. I guess all the quality personnel already got raptured. And all that's left are the low-hanging fruit. Or, more likely, far more likely, is that the wise and clever badged officers of the law have learned by now to stay the fuck away from making eye contact with little Michael Kuzi. They already know that if they need to know anything, they just ask my owner, whoever that is, what's up, yo? And then if they want to waste their time and risk being hypnotized by my seductive gaze, well then by all means come up to me and eye contact and start asking me questions. Shit, yeah, I got nothing better to do than talk to anybody who wants to hear what I have to say. Oh, you're a police officer? Cool. No, it's okay, I know my rights. Typically a person is not supposed to run their yap to the police. Yet mysteriously, once again, I say nay. Nay, nay, nay. I love talking to police. Love it. I wouldn't do it all day for free if I could, but since I have had to engage in that kind of pointless activity under circumstances in which I was expected to be, you know, afraid or helpful or quaking in my boots because of what they might find. Fuck no. I was at first, but I've since realized, oh, that's just how they think they're doing their job right. They're not. That's how low-level flunkies do it. Above them, there's all kinds of echelons. That thin blue line, it's not that thin, and it's steep. And as I've learned more about how the world really works, I am in awe of how brilliant the science of criminal justice is. The way it's taught, the way it's kept secret, the way it's handled in public, what they do in private, why they do it that way. How they keep the whole fucking Rube Goldberg machine together at all. It's amazing. The fact that they ever catch anybody, it's a miracle. And can it get any better? I don't know if it can. Since if it was perfect, well, people would think it was better than divine justice, and it's not. Divine justice actually is perfect and happens in absolute time, not relative time, so some surprise witnesses don't turn out to be so much of a surprise. And how this dichotomy between the world of the relative and the world of the absolute, and superluminal beings that can travel back and forth from Asgard to Earth and shit. Not really, but the point being is that how any system of bureaucracy could do anything useful in such a chaotic environment. It's a miracle. And it's also because it's not actually a chaotic environment. It's order. It just looks like chaos. To the fly, it's order to the spider. And I remember vividly when I was growing up thinking, well, this is stupid, why are you gonna do this? It's dumb, why don't they just, you know, well here's why. Because they tried that, it didn't work. And there's other reasons that you don't want to know. You'll probably find out one day, but most people growing up don't want to know what happens when the police discover that a citizen is being relentlessly stalked by somebody they can't do anything about, and the person doesn't even know it. They're wandering around wondering why everybody hates them, not realizing, oh, there's a dude running around making everybody hate him through a variety of means, and nobody tells the person because they just feel sorry for him and don't want to get fucked with themselves. Some bullies are that fucking bad. I didn't know that was a problem. That local color and constabulary not real adept at handling, since, well, if they tell this victim, that might make it worse, and they don't want to admit, yeah, we're gonna make you not smoke weed, but we can't stop you from being harmed. Yeah, there's a Wendigo or something, sorry. Don't smoke weed, kid, bye. Click. Like, there's really not a lot they can do. Reasons. Sometimes it's because there's a lot other groups can do, but the low-level flunkies don't know that. Low-level flunkies often think they're the extent of the law. No. And some of the low-level flunkies, once again, low-hanging fruit in a badge, they shouldn't be told by their colleagues Oh, hey, by the way, did you know that we think you're stupid? And we'll give you this job to make you do paperwork and make it easy to keep tabs on you because we can tell you're a fucking psycho killer. You're just being a cop so you can bully people and get away with it. Some people think that's a brilliant idea. I know what I'll do. I'll get a badge. Then I can rape the shit out of everybody and I'll never get caught. Some people are actually that fucking rape-centric and utterly unknowledgeable about how the world works. Utterly. Given that even if they escape human justice, at the end of time, when you're dead, everybody that you victimized is there. Hi, Pepperidge Farm remembers. That shit happens. That shit happens. Eternity is longer than you know. The record of everybody's deeds carries with them forever. That piece of gum you stole when you were 6, Pepperidge Farm doesn't have to remember. It's in the book of life. Which sounds like bullshit. I don't care. It's true. And while that may sound like a nightmare to some people who steal a lot of gum, it's actually quite reasonable. It works out. Beautifully. I'm not going to tell the world at large, starting with the 20 people who listen to this podcast, debrief, whatever. I'm not gonna start preaching. I don't have to. I don't get paid for that. Don't get paid at all. You lied, but that's not important since I'm not looking to get a raise, nor am I looking to impress anybody or change the world today. Just being me, waiting for a bus, speaking into the Waμ WS882 system, and not my phone because my phone has been remotely bricked from orbit, or Langley, which is what certain members of the military do when they are tired of somebody's phone, allowing somebody to get on the internet and go, "Ma, where's my money? Ma, tell my wife I love her." You know, they get tired of that. And because it's not like I'm the only one. A lot of people miss their wives. Some of them even still have their wedding ring. Some of them even had a cake. Yeah, they miss their wives too. I got a telepathic bond with her, my wife. Hi, sweetie. If I really want to reach out and rub up against her in my mind, in many ways, strict upgrade from the real thing. Because obviously I don't have to get all sticky, although I can. Additionally, it's pretty hard to fake a telepathic bond, especially when you never had one, and then had one, and then it goes away, and then she comes back, and you discover that there's a whole science to blocking telepathic bonds between humans so that people can be convinced that their lover is dead so they can get another one, and then the lover can be told, "Hey, your lover gave up on you, ha ha ha, now suck boss's dick," or whatever. It's fucking nuts what criminals would do when they can control a person. It's fucking nuts. That's why they call them psychos. But that was years ago when I didn't understand what was going on, or no, undoubtedly. Yeah, sweetie's fine. Sweetie's fine. I really don't know if they could have killed her, for sure. I don't think she's killable. But certainly she is chainable to a radiator in Bogota. She's certainly brainwashable. And the fact that she remembers me at all, that's a miracle. Hi, sweetie, I love you. Oh, she says she loves me too. She doesn't say that. I can't hear it, but she's definitely around somewhere. I don't know if she's dead. I don't know if she's meditating. I don't know if she's an eagle. Good. I don't want to know where she is. I don't want anybody else to know where she is either. Especially dudes who want to capture her and take her to Bogota and find a different radiator and then send me messages on Telegram laughing at me. "Ha, got your girlfriend again. We're going to rape her some more." Since they, of course, imagine that I would be devastated to hear that. And I would be, too. Fuck. Why is it always Bogota? But in reality, it's her job to do that kind of shit. It's her actual job. One of many. But being trained by the military to infiltrate groups and blow them apart from the inside out. That's what James Bond did at the beginning of GoldenEye. Sweetie just does it with her twat. I mean, Rakuni. I mean, Rupert Swat. Whatever. I don't know exactly what she does. I don't know exactly. I don't know how many there are. I don't know how it all works. I simply know that. Yeah, she didn't mention that part on our first few dates, but it was pretty clear something was different, and the notion that there were how many, and the one that is a legitimate fucking kill machine. That's the one who likes me the most. Well, that makes sense, since she wants to kill me and kiss me. Cool, fine with me. I prefer a knife in the chest to another 911 call. And since the one who's a legit homicidal maniac with shitloads of military training, number one, she doesn't want to kill me. She simply will if it turns out that any of this is bullshit. If it turns out that I'm actually lying, that I don't really love her, oh, she'll lose her fucking mind completely. Since I'm sure a lot of other people have told her that they loved her and then it turned out to be lacking in the sincerity department. And as well, other people loved her plenty and did their best to do whatever. And then, yeah, sometimes you're the windshield. Sometimes you're the bug. Apparently not always happily ever after. And when I found her, she was seemingly unhappy. Now, I don't know if she's happy or not, but she's not as unhappy as she would be if she thought that I was never real. She never understood what happened. She felt like she got played. Everybody laughed at her. And her brief time of happiness turned out to be a complete fantasy that was a self-delusion. And every second she spent with me was a lie and a waste. That's not true at all. I don't know what she thinks about me now, since I don't really have telepathy. He lied. But I don't really want to peer into her brain and find out what the commander and the linebacker think of Little Mike Kuzi. I know what they think of me. Seething inner fury and rage, since at the moment there's no upside. If I'm so wonderful, why am I just ignoring them? If I'm a sorcerer, how come I don't do some sorcery? Why can't I get a job? That's the kind of shit that runs through the head of a lot of people, since they're very, very 3D focused. They don't accept the notion that I do have a job, because I don't, but I do. It hasn't occurred to anybody that I was completely serious. I went out to find careers that didn't pay very well, and focused on that, since I didn't see any point in making money. Why would having more money be appropriate? Since that would just bring more thieves. See? People haven't thought this whole job thing through like I have. For example, if somebody wants me to have a job, they should start a company and hire me. Oh, no, they don't want that. No. They just want to virtue signal how important it is to get a job while they're sitting on their ass doing contract consultancy work, waiting for me to leave the house so they can go in and plant evidence and fucking rifle through my shit. Which is legitimately what some people do. They think they have jobs, or they think they've worked enough, or they think they're entitled to live off the fat of the land for whatever reason. And I apparently look like a tasty target to some. Some people are that dumb. I'm not a tasty target. I'm fucking bait. I'm the baitiest bait that's ever baited a bait. I didn't know how well it would work, nor did I know that I could keep on doing it. Shit. I can see why they don't pay where they are. It'd be far too lucrative. And I don't know how many people still need to be massaged and handled by people who do that kind of thing, but several people aren't. They're not gonna be happy when they discover whatever they discover. I don't know why they haven't been rounded up and fed into a gas chamber by conveyor belt. I don't know why that hasn't happened yet, but I'm not in the justice system. I'm not a police officer. I have no idea how they handle their shit. None. But they're pretty good at it. They don't do the kind of job that a person looking from the outside would want them to do, because that's not their purpose. It's a lot more to it than finding out who murdered who. Like, okay, then what? They got to decide. And then they don't want to be wrong. And then they don't want the public to realize that they decide long before they pick you up. They've already decided what they're going to do with you. And since they have access to precognitive technologies and divination technologies and all kinds of shit that you don't, civilian, you don't get to know what they know. They know stuff you wouldn't believe from metadata. How do I know this? I don't. I'm just speculating. If I did know it, it would probably be in very poor taste to say anything. But they don't tell me anything officially. Why would they? They know I'm smart. They know I figured it out. I used to wonder, why can't you talk about ways and means? Oh, I know now. Because people risk their lives every day and they need every chance that they can get to stay alive. They're doing a job, and it's occasionally a deadly one. No reason to make it harder. None whatsoever. People who hate cops are stupid. Stupid. Oh, I hate the police. Fuck the police. Fuck them. No. Why? Why don't you just do something legal? Oh, I get it. You don't know how to do that. You don't understand that you're supposed to follow the law. You're not supposed to do whatever the fuck you want and then get away with it. I mean, you can, but obviously that's not as much fun as doing anything you want to do and being supported. That's way more fun. Admittedly, being an outlaw is kind of cool, but it's certainly not the only way to get high or to have a harem or whatever. I've never worked for police. I've never wanted to. I've never had to roll over anybody. I've never gotten caught and then been asked to tell people anything. Never. I honestly don't think they can put pressure on me that way. I think I'm in a special category for a lot of reasons, and the police know for a fact that they lean on me. Number one, inadmissible. Number two, which is going to piss me off. Number three, if I ever found out at the wrong time, while the wrong people were leaning on me, it could get ugly. Since people have reportedly in the past gone postal. I'm never going to go postal, but that's kind of bad news for a lot of people, since that removes a very easy excuse to explain why I became riddled with bullets. I'm not going to go postal. I might go encyclopedia. But rather than being a crazed madman who's angry at society, I'm neither angry nor mad at anybody. Certainly not society. I love society. It's adorable. The LGBTQ crowd, also adorable. The notion that somebody told me that I was dangerous to their society, I still think that's funny, because they were serious. They thought I should stop talking about all kinds of stuff, up to and including the fact that I'm a mother and I always will be. Since if everybody understood what I know about certain things, LGBTQ society would not be handled the way it is, as well as organized by itself the way it is, nor would they be reproducing the way they do. Not that I know a whole lot about that, but the natural biological drive to sustain one's culture still exists, even in people who have given up on God's perfect plan for creation and decided to turn around and kneel before Satan and engage in homosex, with, of course, pedophilia. I mean, I don't think it's a good idea. I'm not going to judge people who fall for it. A lot of reasons why that happens. Besides, maybe they're faking. I'm not here to judge them. I'm also not here to suck cock, but I'd probably do that before I start judging people. And for some reason, people think that I'm a danger to this culture, since I'm not sucking cock myself. No plans, no urgency. I like women. I like young women. Not the younger the better, but why not? Why wouldn't I? I don't favor them. I'm also not afraid of them anymore, since most people in authority are aware. Oh yeah, they've been calling him a pedophile for 30 years, and never, ever, ever has he ever done anything pedophilic. Did not like children even when I was one. So now that that's settled amongst people who matter, I'm going to continue to follow the law. It'd be weird if I started looking for teenagers. I'm not even looking for a hug. But if a gaggle of girls walks up to me, I don't have to be afraid to talk to them. They're not going to fuck me. They're girls. If they pretend they like me, they want my wallet. Nothing wrong with that. Losing focus of my identity and my place in the world and thinking, oh, maybe this one likes me. She reminds me of that other girl. Like, that's insanity. Which seems obvious to me and not something I need to point out to anybody. But I guess some people weren't aware that I am paying attention. I don't have sexual perversions and fetishes and obsessions. I have a libido. The effect is nothing at all similar. But to somebody who's never seen a real one, I can see why they'd be confused. And I don't care about finding a new lover, or finding the old one, or reestablishing whatever. I don't care. It's not important right now. And not being a sex addict, it can take a long fucking time before I think, okay, I can focus on casual sex now. No, I don't really need to focus on that. The opportunity comes up, we'll see. In the meantime, I have other things to occupy my time with. Way more interesting than struggling to figure out why I'm not getting laid. I know why I'm not getting laid. I know exactly why. I choose not to. I find that I'm more advantageous to be a mysterious enigma who wanders around alone, like Kung Fu, walking the earth. Not that it's any better in bed, but it saves me a lot of time. There are no expectations to be disappointed with, and it's completely stopped in its tracks. All sorts of plans that some people had to spy on my communications, find out who my sweeties are, and then kidnap them and hold them for ransom. I don't know if there's any left alive out of custody that remember me. I mean, I'm fond of everybody mostly, but if there's somebody who remembers me and wants to talk to me and is being held for hostage ransom, no one's let me know. Additionally, I don't have any money, so I couldn't pay a ransom. And couldn't I wash their car for them or something? No, probably not. They usually go to the trouble of kidnapping somebody and asking for ransom because they want money. Get in, get out, run away with the money. Nobody's gonna do that to me. Criminals who actually engage in that kind of thing, they've heard of me. Years ago, they heard of me. The recent stuff is not so much of a surprise to some people. I'm really not a person to be trifled with. It's not profitable. I'm stubborn. I'm macabre. I'm thorough. I'm effective. I got nothing better to do. I'm not kidding. Been planning for all this shit since I was 9. Hasn't been exactly like I imagined, but in many ways it's much better. So it's not like I'm miserable in coping. I love Grapefruit. I miss her a lot. I wish I could just pick up the phone and call her. Don't know her number. And that would be rude since she couldn't talk back without permission from her mother. Hi, Oma. Hi, I love you. I don't know if they listen. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Live or dead. They used to be existing. And then back then they said things like, "Shut up, Jack." They really did. Because they thought I should stop asking questions and do what I was expected to do so that they could do what they thought they had to do. All without mentioning, "Oh, by the way." Which, I can see why they didn't. Still seems dumb to me, since they could have just told me. I suppose they weren't supposed to, since somebody said to them that I was supposed to be unaware that I was a target. I mean, I knew I was a target for my entire life. I didn't know by whom or by when or by what, but the notion that the notion that anybody would hire a whole gang of Algonquin spooks to take me out, but not to lunch, and to run all this game on me to get access to $86 billion in gold or whatever. I didn't understand the world worked that way. I had no idea that I had any sort of importance to life in such a way. Nor did I think it would be something somebody would think me likely to be capable of doing. Failing to notice a monstrosity of a unwieldy behemoth plan involving too many people doing something stupid for no reason at all other than to make me suffer because they were mad about some fucking stupid past life thing or from childhood. Like who the fuck does that kind of midlife crisis experiencing adult? Yeah, it's not what adults will do. They grow up so fast and they forget. They do lots of stuff in their youth and they're going to regret it later. And if they don't prepare for that, that can really knock somebody for a loop. I'm not sure who that applies to most of all. I don't want to name any names. Adria Sharf. Chicky baby, I know you feel bad because you blew it, and I haven't told anybody how badly you've blown it. Nor do I plan on putting you in an oven or making that joke too many times. I mean, I don't think it's a nice thing to say. I don't think it's a nice thing to do. I don't think I'm worse than Hitler. I don't think Hitler was effective at all. I think I'm effective. And I don't really know what Hitler had in mind other than being effective. Certainly he seemed that way. But I'd like to point out 80 years later, people are still wrestling with the JQ. Wow. Is it that complicated, or do they just not have any German philosophers anymore? Or what? Like why is everybody still sweating over it? Other than the obvious reasons, which don't bear much repeating, but I'll do it anyway. Wow, they opened a parallel dimension into New Schwabenland and they fled to another land. Pretended Hitler died and left behind a bunch of traps with Operation Paperclip and let the world tear itself apart so they could invade later. That's actually true. I like the New Schwabenlanders. That's really cool. They of course think I'm a worthless nigger who gets in their way. I don't give a fuck. They can think what they want. I think they're adorable. Brilliant plan. I don't really like what happened to Germany after World War I. And in World War II it was obviously partially staged, since extra-dimensional beings used World War I and used World War II as decoys, basically, to conceal from the mass of humanity how extraplanar beings would invade the world and take over, which doesn't appear to be happening anytime soon, but it's kind of a near thing. Arguably it happened already. Not sure how else one would explain the Macarena or Menudo or all the fucking brands that start with the letter M. But most people are not aware that such stories are real. I'm not Sorcerer Supreme, and I don't wear a cape, and I'm not an arrogant doctor who has his hands damaged in an accident. I am, however, a sorcerer. Pretty sure there's more than one of them, since I don't really give a fuck about portals opening up for another dimension. I'm not here to defend from that kind of shit. That's a fairy tale. I'm here to impress my sweetie and her mom, and to some extent her sister, although she's already impressed, and her brother. It's very important that I impress these people while I'm still far outside arm's reach, since there's no way of knowing what they might do if I impress them too much. They might go crazy. They might start drinking. It's not pretty. They might feel They might feel hurt feelings. They might think I'm teasing them, which isn't cool for people who are conquered subjugate people. It sucks. Now that I've seen more of the world and I understand what I've been looking at, I pray with all my heart that people in such a state of bondage learn their fucking lesson and don't do what they did to earn that kind of fucking punishment. Like, I don't know what the fuck, but if you are owned by the U.S. military, and most people think, well, you're a native, that doesn't speak well for the past and the impression that the activities engaged in left on the common populace. Like, apparently there was some pretty brutal shit that happened, which isn't surprising since they were being genocided by assholes. Christopher Columbus, what a douche. Francisco Pizarro, is that his name? What a douche. Ponce de Leon, what a douche. Total fucking asshole. So I don't blame anybody for being crippled by their racial memories of being genocided like yesterday. It wasn't that fucking long ago. It's still happening now. And it doesn't seem fair. It's not fair. It's not even just. It's fucking war. Genocide. It's not pretty. And I don't think the people who engage in that kind of thing or think it's a good idea, I'm so mad, I want to kill all the natives I see, so angry. It's not helpful at all. It's a sign of a damaged soul that has lost all connection to rational reality and takes out their aggressions in an orgy of misplaced anger and fury. Or they're aware that Native Americans reincarnate at a rate 9 times the rate of everybody else, since they disappear every week. They come back and forth and turn into eagles and shit, and could be that the guy who just showed up in town is a freshly reborn dude who pissed you off 10 years ago. So when you spot him and stab him in the chest with a knife at the square dance sock hop, maybe that's what you're supposed to do. I don't know. I never pissed off natives that way. And if I did, rather than figure it was not my fault and I was just gonna, fight back, that's not my nature. I don't like having people mad at me for any reason, up to and including real ones. I especially don't like people being mad at me and I don't even know why. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to make amends? Well, I'm not. I'm supposed to be puzzled while people who want to kill me don't share their contrivance with anyone, including me, and then feel justified to ruin my life and break the law, to make me miserable and deny me my rights so that they can feel like they've aided society rather than just been bullying assholes breaking the law. It's a strange delusion for some people. But then again, I am that annoying. My father was undoubtedly worse, and my mother was a dingbat who... I don't even know. I don't even know. She says, you don't want to know, dear. And I agree. I don't want to know what my parents did wrong. So they did the best they knew how to do. I don't hold any ill will or animosity towards my parents at all, especially since they're dead. Once those deadbeats got out of my way, my life really took off. And while that may sound terrible to some, that's probably because they had functional families of any kind, whereas I did not. I knew there was something weird, but the notion that my parents were that fucking damaged, well, it makes sense now. I can see why nobody wanted to counsel my family or do anything. Just get rid of him, sacrifice me to Satan, and then move on, and not have to think about all kinds of stuff. I'm sure that seemed like a good plan to the Presbyterians and the false Masons and golfers, or whatever the fuck they were thinking before I was born, after I was born, growing up. When I was in high school, puzzled by weird tension, when I couldn't seem to manage to go to college and make anything of myself, people just assumed, oh, well, it's the drugs. He's a worthless nigger. Blah, blah. I blame his father. I blame his mother. What do I know? They didn't blame anybody. They could have just asked me, hey, kid, how come you're not interested in participating in society? Well, I don't want to count the ways right now, but I assure you there's a long list. Number 1, Abstaining is a form of participation. Number 2, hackneyed. Number 3, it's not entheogenic enough. Number 4, nigger bears. Number 5, bare naked niggers. Number 6, rules about profanity. Well, why can't people be taught to be able to fucking listen to words without having a spasm, rather than holler at everybody for saying faggot 3 times? Well, funny story about that. The reason why some people can't handle it is because they're not supposed to. And if everybody knew that, certain mind control mnemonic devices wouldn't work. Certain people want to be able to run into a crowded theater and shout fire and have that do something. They like prank yanking. They like prank calls. They like approximating the effect of a magic spell being cast by saying nigger. Nigger is not a magic spell. Oh, maybe eldritch or arcane, but it's got power because of the gugu, and ginger nigger being the same word except broken up differently. Isn't that interesting? Does it make anybody wonder about the relationship between people with a lot of melanin and people with a lot of red hair? How does that work? Someone call Gregor Mendel immediately. Get some more pea pods out. No. It doesn't work that way. Life is simultaneously much more complicated and simpler than you think. They're different. They have souls. They probably don't give a shit about what white people think. Redheads are whiter. Black people are better. Black people blame white people for bringing down the tall whites from beyond the heliopause and subjugating the rest of humanity with the powers of extraterrestrial assistance, which was given to the Scotsmen and the Britlanders when they landed on Britain and set up a Camelot. Oh, never mind. You don't want to hear about extraterrestrials coming down to Earth and giving certain races more powers than others, and then suddenly disappearing and leaving white people on their own. You don't want to hear about that. Number 1, because it's true. Number 2, hackneyed. Number 3, you don't really want to hear me talk about anything. Unless you do. But at this point, most people don't want to hear me ramble. They want me to say something useful. They want me to incriminate myself. They want me to do phone sex. They want me to, once again, incriminate myself. They want to make it worth their time to listen to me. Since they were imagining that I was going to say too much. I was going to sound like I'm on drugs and then hypothetically be easier to commit to an insane asylum. Spoiler alert, it's not. It's not. That doesn't really work anymore. I'm obviously not insane. There's a shitload of evidence that somebody was being juiced up and mind controlled by clandestine actors to make my life miserable as part of an ongoing criminal conspiracy to steal a shitload of money. And that's been going on for years. As inconvenient as that sounds, it's far less inconvenient when I know it's actually happening and all the police across the world have heard my name and realize y'all dodged a bullet, since I'm honest to God, I'm not mad at anyone. I swear on my life I have not retained legal counsel. I further do solemnly swear I don't plan on changing my mind at the last minute. Scusi, Billy, here's your lawsuit. Fuck no. Why the fuck would I file a lawsuit? I have people for that. And I don't want money. Oh, no. I don't want things. I desire outcomes. I'm getting outcomes. It's awesome. I can't really boast about it since it's impolite. And if I started crowing about how awesome it is that people are experiencing fucked up lives, that would sound creepy. And it would imply that I had something to do with it, rather than just being happy-go-lucky me who just happened to be close personal friends with Jesus and God, and prayed that certain people would get their comeuppance. I don't want people to know how good it has felt to watch people suffer. It's kind of like Schadenfreude. It's not, though. It's righteousness, and it's creepy because I don't feel at all bad about how good it feels to watch assholes suffer, and to know that I'm not going to have to get beaten up by their friends since they don't know. Hey, why did you get hit by a car? What bad luck? No, it's not bad luck. Hey, why is that Michael Kuzi kid so happy? How come he's not at work? Why do we have to go to work? Why are we in debt? How come I lost my job? Well, the Lord works in mysterious ways. And there have been so many people throughout the years of my life that have really pissed me off. I often despaired of ever feeling good about any of those events. Now I feel great. Now I see how it works. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. It works out. Don't be cruel to people. It doesn't pay off. Don't steal from others. You only steal from yourself. Don't kill anybody. That's far too merciful. But some people do need to be murdered. And you're not necessarily condemned to damnation for murdering somebody. There are not exceptions, but there are circumstances. For example, dude tries to murder me, and my psychokinetic shielding reflects his attack back at him, and he accidentally dies. Oops! I don't even have to feel sorry. That's baked into the product. Oh my God, you attacked me and you died? That's why you're not supposed to attack people. You might die. How can I be faulted for that? Tee-hee. It's not quite that psychotic. But the line between Mr. Clean and Mr. Glass is pretty narrow in the real world. I don't have one single regret about not hiring a lawyer or pursuing justice in the civil courts after the ambush. Thank God I didn't hire a lawyer. Since it's been 4.5 years now. When I said at the beginning, this is all a misunderstanding. I don't want to make it get worse. I imagine some people thought that was bullshit, or a cope, or a sign that I couldn't afford a lawyer, or didn't have any evidence, or was making it up. No, I really was horrified, and I saw that trying to complain about what was happening was a trap. Everything that happened at the ambush was appropriate based on what the people knew at the time, and just because they had been lied to, it doesn't make them liable necessarily. And sure shit doesn't mean that I need to go to court and say, oh, the corrupt police have hurt my feelings and broken the law. Do something. They're not going to do shit. They know me. They know I deserve to. They deserve to have hurt feelings. I deserve to have people do all that. Because number one, well, clearly, it didn't kill me, and I am stronger. And then number two, hi. Did anybody want to see any proof of God's existence? I don't know what you think I've been doing, but while I've been doing it, people could be paying attention and notice a few things. I don't know what, but at this point I don't know what keeps anybody from recognizing the hand of the divine in all things. I used to wonder, what? I don't get it. I get it now. It takes time. It's not meant to be obvious. And one scene is pretty much unmistakable. I don't want to discuss with anybody their faith or my faith or the existence of God. It just seems like a pointless waste of time. And I did that already in my late teens. Sure glad I did that ahead of time so I can take it easy now and have a large amount of compassion for anybody who's puzzled by why their life isn't fun right now. If anybody knows me or is around me or has heard of me and their life isn't fun, the reason why is because God's punishing you for not giving me money. Or you've given money to thieves who have taken money from people who tried to give it to me and kept it for themselves, either by depositing it in the special needs trust or by giving it to somebody else's trust who pretends to be named Michael Kuzi. For whatever reason, I don't get money at all. There's several important reasons for that. Number 1, I don't need it. Number 2, I don't deserve it. Number 3, taxes. Number 4, ongoing criminal investigation. Number 5, ways and means stuff. And number 6, I don't really want the money. I want your soul. I'm kidding. I don't really need people to bankroll my legal defense or my life. I planned ahead. I knew no one would help me, and I knew all my shit would be stolen. I don't have a whole lot of money right now. I certainly don't have a whole lot of assets. My entire life has been ransacked and handed out to false masons who thought that it'd be a good idea to teach me a lesson about hoarding and making me forced to get a job. No, I'm still not forced to get a job, and wow, I didn't know they hated hoarders so much, and I wonder what they thought I was doing, since I just brought all that stuff here to bait people. I didn't know why, but I did know that there was something going on, and sure, I'm glad I'm not dumb like my parents, since it's bad enough that lots of dumb people hate me now. Not enough people are willing to go out in public and say, hey, Michael Kuzi, he's a stand-up dude. I don't really need people to do that for me, since they'll probably get punched in the face by people who are struggling with the reality. They fucked up. They had their chance to get close to me. I don't need to worry at all about certain people. Like, there's this woman. She didn't understand that she hurt my feelings. It's not a big deal, but that doesn't mean I still find her attractive or interesting or immune to paladin vision. Now that I've clocked this entity precisely, now I understand what their purpose in my life is and why they keep coming back on a semi-random schedule, seemingly apropos of nothing, but actually, they work for the dudes who don't like me at all and think that I'm some salty rape nigger who can be easily swayed by temptations of the flesh and drugs. Not easily swayed, or even swayed at all, but I'll certainly pretend to. Buy it. Oh, look, it's a pretty girl walking up to me and smiling and acting like I'm attractive. It's obviously a setup, since I know what it looks like when somebody who is obviously attracted to me walks up to me and says anything. They're scared shitless if they actually like me, since I'm scary. And I don't mean to be intimidating, but I remember very well not knowing what to say to people that I liked. I don't blame anybody for not knowing what to say to me. Fuck, I barely know what to say to me either. And since there's a history, apparently quite real, of women disappearing or being raped into compliance with some of the gang after professing their love for Michael Kuzi, apparently some people just don't stand for that kind of thing, and they don't want me to have any options for romantic liaisons other than the ones they allow through a variety of methods, up to and including restricting my phone from working in any way other than the way they say, and impersonating me on the phone to people who try to call me and find their phone call intercepted by somebody who doesn't let them talk to me ever. I never hear from them. I don't get messages on Facebook. I don't get mail. I don't get anything. And if I do, it gets whisked away. This has been going on for years. It sounds paranoid, doesn't it? It would be paranoid if I didn't know what was happening. I thought I was imagining things. No. Some of these racist fucks actually have that much fucking free time in the day. And they gotta protect the species from mud-yard contamination. Fuck, that Dracula thing really fucking did a number on people, huh? I wasn't even thinking about breeding until I found out I wasn't supposed to. Now I still don't want to, but telling jokes about how I'm gonna flood the country with my semen and cause bastards to spring up in my wake like Johnny Appleseed, that's a funny joke. That's funny. I'm not gonna do that. Why wouldn't I just mail out frozen sperm? Much more coverage. Why wouldn't I don't know, not breed and just fornicate? I don't know. I'm not really in that position right now, but people in this town, hi Castle Rock, hi. Listen, I get that you're old-fashioned. I get you don't like my attitude. And I get you have a whole bunch of hot teenage girls in this town. All of whom think nothing but awesomeness about me since I'm still alive, and the whole fucking town's terrified of me. That's the kind of bad boy that a young girl who wants to breed herself and doesn't know that thinks is ideal for a man in terms of their baby batter. Shit, people were trying to steal it in high school when I was 15. Now that I'm 52, they still want the baby batter. They may not know that, but it is very high quality baby batter. It's not Austrian, but so few things are. And as an alternative to Bavarian semen, Magyar semen just really can't be beat. I don't know why this is such a hot button issue for people, but it probably has something to do with Judeo-Christian morality and the necessity of the LGBT crowd to reproduce itself. How the fuck do they do that? Apparently mostly involving role-playing Hansel and Gretel over and over and over. Apparently survival of the species is important to people on a subliminal base level, which makes sense given that people don't know what happens when they die until they do, and everybody's all worried about it. I'm not worried about it. I don't give a fuck about reproducing. My ideas in the mind can be conveyed and be transmitted throughout society on the basis of their virtue of power alone. I don't have to have my own children. I can teach your children. I don't care about my genes. I care about my ideas. I don't care about leaving a legacy. I've already left a legend. I didn't plan on that part. Real surprised. And I will be honest, I don't think there's too many people making legends on purpose. I didn't have anything better to do, so it's not that big a deal that I'm like one book short of being Gilgamesh. It's way more fun than paying child support, changing diapers, being ignored by my child, or having them kidnapped like the Lindbergh baby. I mean, I wouldn't mind having small versions of me running around, but I really don't mind people thinking I'm Gilgamesh. That's cool. They don't even have to be right. Just the notion that that's a mildly plausible notion. Did I just say notion twice? Sorry. I'm kind of geeking out here. Since I grew up thinking that this planet was hell that should be burned forever, ruled by an unjust God who hated life, to discover that I was completely wrong. Oh, I feel great about that. I hardly have to do anything. Whereas other people imagine they have to save the world by themselves. They've got to rescue all the girls from misogyny. They've got to raise their tots les lesbo hyphenated family free of undue influences like toxic masculinity and regular masculinity and citizenship, and keep them away from terrible rapscallions like little Michael Cusi, which is odd since I think I'm probably one of the best babysitters around. But apparently it's not bad that they think I'm going to rape their children. Apparently they think it's a bad idea for me to teach their children how an actual man behaves. There is a Santa Claus. I can tell them all about the mushrooms. Probably not the stories a parent wants their babysitter to be telling their children. Cool. Name a common household ingredient found in nearly every American kitchen that when mixed with instant chocolate pudding mix forms a high explosive. I like that riddle. Probably not something you should tell children since they'll immediately try to make a high explosive out of it. And they can. Not a good one for a babysitter to be telling. That's why I'm telling it on YouTube. So I can see that there are concerns about some things about me from society. I don't blame people who are suspicious of my motives, since destroying your culture and getting away with it without going to prison is my life's goal. Not really. I have a different goal. But it's funny to say that. since I don't think anybody's going to take me seriously, especially not the people who put people in prison for that. And if anybody does take me seriously, well, somebody can call my psychiatrist and she could tell them the deal. And if she's worried, she could show up. Or her husband, or her son, or somebody else who could say, "Hi, I'm from the Quacks. Hi, can we talk to you for a minute, Mr. Guzzi? Can we talk to you?" And I'll say, "Yeah, sure. How can I help?" Since modern psychiatry appears to have noticed that they get a lot goddamn further with Michael Guzzi when they're fucking polite. Which isn't that hard. Number one, don't be an anonymous coward. Number two, don't build your whole life around drugs and sex and trying to rape women and get away with it. Etc., etc. It's kind of cool actually having a psychiatrist. I wish I could tell them more, but they only have so much time in the day. Plus, the point of a journey is not to arrive. If I tell them all the answers, they're just going to figure out what the questions were. This probably isn't the mental insanity that anybody expected from me, right? Since I'm not insane. I'm not abusing drugs. Don't want to. Don't have to. Don't need to. And while that usually sounds like a lie, because it usually is, I'm not in denial about what I'm doing. I'm deliberately saying things that a person in denial would say, while being completely sincere and earnest about it, since I think that artistic effect makes a nice dichotomy for people to struggle with as I walk by. Since I probably don't want to talk to them, I want them to shut up and think about things. It'd be different if they wanted to talk to me, but they usually don't. They want to get rid of me. And having a conversation that gives them information that they can use against me. Some people, that's their highlight of their day. Really not sure why. Oh wait, I remember why. It's because I'm kind of infamous. And several people seem to think that it's their turn to take a shot at the title, and it is. I don't know how many of these people are left, but certainly not the whole planet is filled with people who have learned, oh yeah, we shouldn't trifle with him. No, plenty of people haven't clued in. Because for one thing, I kind of like being trifled with. It's just a weird thing to say. And then it's not meant to be threatening. I think it's just funny to make it sound like it's a threat. It's not a threat. Most people aren't meant to be trifled with. It's also a line from a movie that I thought was so interesting that I wanted it to be the very first movie that I ever bought on DVD. It's a great movie. Where was I? Oh. Is that my bus? Yeah, it could be. I would like to stop rambling. I honestly was going to record like 7 minutes to go at the beginning of the next thing I put up, but now I've gone on and on for an hour and a half. About nothing. Anybody looking for actionable intelligence? Not going to get it from me. Anybody who want to know what's going on with things? Well, you pretty much have a good idea. Still not talking to Grapefruit, and whoever her bitch-ass husband is or pretends to be hasn't called. Still love her mom. That Waм. She is so nice to me. And I didn't understand why her children were afraid of her and said that she was mean until I realized, holy shit, her children are elite ruffians. Like, I love them, but I can see why a woman would start to lose it. I don't think she's going to lose it. I think she's brilliant. I think she's desperately happy and has no need to walk around town crowing about it. She doesn't need to call me and say, "Oh, thank you, Jack. Thank you. You don't need to shut up now." Fuck no. She's got telepathy. She could just politely thank me when she remembers that she's grateful I'm not an asshole. And she's thrilled. Piece that she doesn't need to apologize for nothing. She doesn't need to explain anything. What is understood doesn't need to be discussed. Now I get why they seemed they were kind of on edge. Well, they fucking were, weren't they? I can see why they thought I was a threat. I fucking was, wasn't I? I can see why they didn't tell me that they were being ordered by assholes with badges and shit to work against me and not tell me that they were there. They were told to, or else they'd kill their children or whatever. There's a lot of ways that people who are being held hostage can be threatened without being at all obvious about it. Couldn't figure it out. It didn't make sense to me that they would actually be behaving that way, but they were behaving that way, and the reason why is because they were fucking being held hostage by fucking assholes with badges. In this modern age, wow! Right around the same time, I suddenly started dating a woman I had been stalked by on Facebook for 6 years. All of a sudden, we're best buds. That's weird. Wonder why. A month after she suddenly stops drinking, a few weeks after somebody shows up out of nowhere and makes a fucking stupid phone call and then claims the next day that she doesn't remember any of it, and after her daughter hangs up on me. That was funny. Wow, I wonder what the connection is there. I'm lying, I don't wonder at all. I don't fucking care. Wouldn't mind writing an opera about it. If somebody paid me to write opera. Wouldn't mind writing a musical for free about it. Fuck, that Hamilton thing seems to have taken off. Maybe I could do the Magyar version. I don't know. I don't fucking care. I wanted to find out things so I would know, not so I could run around telling the world. I'm happy to share information, but it's not my reason for studying. I do that for me. Since no one else wanted to tell me what was going on, kind of had to do that myself. And now that I know what people weren't telling me, I can see why nobody wanted to tell me, if they even knew. Didn't want to be shot as a messenger, of course, and then figured that there was no reason to tell a guy who was going to be sacrificed to Satan as soon as his parents got out of the way. Why bother doing anything for me? I was just going to be made into sausage and blankets, right? Well, it turns out no. I mean, I actually like being alive. And I don't give a fuck what kind of a deal my parents made with Jews for my pew-pews. I don't want to be a Goyim slave or sacrificed to Dark Lord Satan. I've chosen something else. That's how it works. I don't know if any of you knew that, but choice. It's very powerful. And my continued choices are to not get involved in vengeance or enrichment schemes or sacrifice my soul or do something stupid. No, I like being in the world, not of it, and I adore not being affected by so much bullshit that's going on right now. Do you see its gas is $5 a gallon? Fuck, I'm glad I don't have a car. $5 a gallon? What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh yeah, there's a aborted world war going on. Oh yeah, there's something to do with the Strait of Hormuz. Hormuz. Probably not a coincidence there. Whore, meaning prostitute. Moose, meaning cow. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. Hey, why didn't they blow up Iran before? What's different this time? I can't tell you. It's not my area to talk about that kind of shit. But I know. Tee-hee. Why am I telling you this? Why? I guess I'm bragging. I guess I'm pointing out that, not to be too snotty about it, but I just live life on a different level now, since I don't have children. If I did, well, I would do parent-like things, but instead I have the whole world as my child. I can raise them by talking to them, like Roosevelt did with the fireside chats and shit. Not that I don't have to be good at it. Shit, no. He wasn't good at it. He was probably on crystal too. Do you think there's a contact high over the wireless? I don't know. But I'm pretty damn sure the U.S. military knows. They've had time to figure it out. I don't need to confirm their research. I really don't care. I'm simply happy to no longer be thought of as a rape demon waiting to jump out of a closet. No, that's not me. Don't need to obsess over that kind of thing. And the notion that people think that I'm doing that and in denial is indicative of their status as such a person, since they're obsessed with sex and drugs after decades of using it and lying to everybody about it and thinking that was okay. Yeah, I guess it was. Now they're in a midlife crisis and they're desperate for something and they don't know what. I could explain to them, but I don't give a shit. It sounds kind of creepy when I put it that way. Like this perverse, twisted schadenfreude that I appear to have made my entire life revolve around. Fuck, I had no idea. This guy was my witness. I thought people were smarter than that. But apparently, DARE didn't work out so well. And as the entire system of drug smuggling and domination control on Earth is arranged by extraterrestrials in coordination with a 60,000-year-old death cult that's on its way out, it's not surprising that it seems insane. It is insane. A few years ago, South Korea was discovered to be led by a government that was almost entirely a satanic sex cult. They didn't infiltrate the government, they were the government. Which makes one wonder why North Korea wouldn't want to be friends with them. Turns out satanic sex cults are all over the place. Imagine that. Amazing! You'd think there was a law, but it doesn't work that way, actually. Since they have Christianity as a sex cult too in some places. It's really just a matter of perspective. And in America, it's perfectly legal to have satanic beliefs. Perfectly legal. It's even legal to sacrifice animals in certain circumstances. I don't know what the laws are for being a Satan worshiper, but if I were to worship Satan, I would think that it'd be more effective to do so legally, and then not go to prison, which is always a plus. And that appears to be what Satanists do, until they just can't help themselves anymore and they start breaking the law openly, thinking that they're better than God or whatever. I don't know. Satanism seems to always end in the decay of the psyche for some reason. I know why, but I won't spoil the surprise. I don't have to worry about any of this stuff. I'm prepared to be a warrior for that kind of thing, but I don't have to, since I don't have any family members that are victims of a cult right now, and I don't have to worry about the Islamicists issuing another fatwa. I mean, they could, but there's no reason to. I'm not being an asshole. I don't have to pay the jizya, but if I was asked to, I would. It's not even that much money. It is to some people who want it all, but I don't really operate at that level. I don't have a mega church. I don't even have a family. Don't even have so much as a litter of kittens. Saves me a huge bunch of time wrapping gifts with gifts. And while it does sound lonely, because it is, it's significantly better than some alternatives. Like wishing that I hadn't let grapefruit die and feeling like a failure and knowing that everybody knew that I was an asshole who let my girlfriend die, even though I was a paladin. No, I didn't let her die. I didn't even let her come back. I don't know what happened. Nobody wanted to tell me, and I'm not going to ask, since I don't care what she does. I care what her mother does. February 2027. I can wait. No sweat. I'd prefer not to have to, but no more fitting punishment can I imagine than getting on my little YouTube show and crowing contentedly every fucking day. Yeah, I'd love to talk to that woman. Psst. Too bad her mother says no. Now here's Tom with the weather. No, it doesn't sound good, does it? Does it sound mocking? It's supposed to. Yeah, I am mocking somebody. Not Grapefruit so much as everyone, but that's probably not immediately clear to people who are hearing what I'm saying through probably third-hand telegraph repetition, and might be in a living arrangement where if they're caught by their fake husband to be listening to the Michael Kuzi Experience on YouTube, maybe they get another black eye. Fuck, I don't know. Chili! I told you stop listening to that Jackstar. I don't fucking know. And since there's like 198 of them, for reasons that are perplexing but real, I don't know what real Grapefruit's doing. I don't know how many possible replacements there might be. I don't know if they're coordinating together. I don't know if they're scared. I don't know if they're being hunted actively. I don't know if they're aware that anybody who's still so pissed at any of those women and hates them more than me, definitely not a threat, since I'm obviously the target to be taken down for anybody who's mad at them women. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're women who are in dire need of punishment on some levels. Nevertheless, I would prefer that people stop ignoring me and notice that she's my problem. People who thought that she was their problem, they're just mad. They're just angry. They don't want to have fun. I don't blame them, since she prevented a lot of people from having fun, thinking that was a good idea. I don't know who, but certainly these gals didn't get the reputation of being the biggest pair of hood rats in the Salish Sea region for nothing. There's not even anything wrong with that. Hood rats are a fact of life. And they're not merely hood rats, they're... well, it's complicated, and it's nobody's business. I can see why they're hated by many. I was told that her sister got punched in the back of the head. She got out of the car and somebody came out of nowhere and wham, right in the back of the head. And I thought to myself, why would somebody want to punch her in the back of the head? I still don't know. Some people piss people off that way. I'm not mad at her. I like her. And if I were going to punch anybody in the back of the head, it sure as shit wouldn't be punching McBrewster. Shit, no. But I guess some people don't think these things through. They're mad, ornery, and don't have any other way of getting back at people who have fucked their lives good and have no way of getting even at all. That's what a pair of hood rats can do. And that's what they were expected to do to me, and totally haven't. Not sure what they're doing, but they're definitely not worrying me any, or being leaned upon by people to put me in prison. Or if they are, sure, it's really just out of instinct. I'm not going to prison. I'm not hiding crimes. I'm not susceptible to being framed over and over and over and over until my vigilance fades and I finally make an accident and they catch me with the butterfly net and then put me in Sing Sing. Fuck no. This is not the way the law works. And while that might have happened at one point earlier, by now, law enforcement professionals know. Oh, he's the victim. Yeah. Not too big a deal, but it's not like I'm a victim because I deserve it. And it's not like it's a crime to be a victim. Yeah, I just turned out that way. On purpose. Knowing that people would be ganging up on me anyway. Why not make it easy for them? Maybe they could be arrested for beating up on me. Is that convenient? I don't know. I don't know how many people get to fucking bully kids without growing up to be... I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm sure the police don't enjoy being used as muscle for spur-headed fag lords who juice up hood rats and make them do company business for free. Typically the police don't like to be used like that. And since this woman had called them, I think 11 or 12 times before my time with her showed up, the police were probably pretty tired of the whole fucking mess. I'm not sure why they might have gotten tired of it, since it probably seemed like a good deal at first, but there's something about how it looks that undoubtedly rubs some people the wrong way. And now that there's evidence and an investigation and a primary victim that's not enthusiastic about hiring a lawyer and making a big fuss and becoming the next Rodney King. I don't want to be a Rodney King. I don't want money. I don't even want power. I have power. Which makes it all the more impressive that I'm not trying to get revenge on anybody. Why? I don't know why. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be mad and surprised that my girlfriend turned out to be setting me up. No, that's what girlfriends do. Yeah. And since she was apparently forced to engage in such ridiculous behavior after being coerced by people who threatened to take away her children and told her not to tell me about it, I can see why she might have been disappointed with my lack of interest, but since I didn't know that was actually happening and thought it was a ludicrous notion in this day and age. What? I still don't even know exactly what happened, but certainly not mad at Sweetie or any member of her family, since they didn't really have a choice and I didn't make it easy for them, and I didn't realize they didn't know what sorcerers do. I guess they were familiar with wizards. I roll in, I tell them I'm a sorcerer, I tell them the truth, they assume I'm lying, and then they don't ask me to do anything useful. They just figure they're gonna do their usual thing. I don't know what they figured. I have no idea what they thought. Can't wait to ask them. It'll probably be something silly like they thought I was gonna do a justice dance or something. Oh shit, no. I don't even want to talk about what I did do, but it seems to have been effective. I don't know. I'm going to assume. I mean, I don't know what they thought they were going to get other than what I wanted, but it wasn't really supposed to be a big scene that I was going to get castigated for or excoriated for or fined for or prosecuted for. The less people know, the better. Didn't think it would still be wandering around 4.5 years later, wondering why isn't everybody happy? Oh, now people are scared. Huh. Yeah, I guess they should be scared since I've been like this the whole time. Just nobody noticed, that's all. So it's not like I'm going to be shocked or disappointed to discover that people used to think I was an easy target. Duh, I was. It's kind of my idea. It's not like I need vengeance on all the bullies of my life. I don't need that at all. God does that kind of thing. I just watch. It doesn't seem fair, does it? That's because it's not fair. That's what happens when people lie to clergy and steal his shit, destroy his family, and think that nothing's gonna happen. Something's happening, all right. I don't know what's next for anybody, but I don't need to. I don't have that kind of need for hands-on vengeance. It's simply there. I don't even know who's upset and mad, although a clue is that they don't call and congratulate me. They instead act like being scared of me is going to help. No, not really. I don't know what the hell they think I'm going to do about anything. It's not like I beg God to crush my enemies. I'd prefer that didn't happen. I'm sad that they're not inviting me to parties and having a good time with me, and instead they're being crushed. Seems like a loss of fun time opportunity, but the mind of a person who is afraid to party with a swarthy European immigrant's child, I don't get that. Do they think I'm catching? Are they embarrassed that I'm thrown in there? Probably. I don't know. Don't care. And anytime somebody wants to prevail upon Grapefruit's mother to address the state of affairs, I'm more than happy to resume communication with people. Vocally. I'm also pretty happy to keep on pretending that telepathy may or may not be real. Here's a hint, it's real. And I don't really need to talk to anybody, since there's not much to say until things are taken care of. I don't know what things anybody might be confused about on that point, but it's not something I need to chat about openly. Okay, I'll admit it. I'm bringing back spontaneous combustion. I'm kidding. I'm not bringing it back. It's already brought back. I'm kidding. I didn't do that. Someone else did. I'm kidding. That's not a very funny joke. It's a funny fucking punishment. I'm kidding again. It's just a thing that just happens, but not anymore, like swamp gas and weather balloons. Now I'm really kidding. I actually don't know. What is up with spontaneous combustion? Like, why doesn't that happen? I don't care. Or we're too quick anyway. I miss you, sweetie. I really miss you a lot. I'm gonna go. An hour and 55 minutes of this bullshit. Yeah, I wish it was useful too.